And what's the good word? How you living? Welcome back to NOCAPPP. Chilling, man. It's another day. Good energy, positivity, enjoying the fact that I woke up. And it's a fast too, though. Boy, man, them fasts be serious. Make you feel like you floating. And there's a little section of time there where you don't feel nothing at all. You don't feel hungry. You don't feel thirsty. Don't feel thoughts. You just breathing. You can feel every breath too, and it's crazy. But it was much needed, man. I was eating crazy. Had to purge some of that. But at some point, I'm gonna start putting questions of the day because I got a lot of folk that I interact with that engage with the podcast, but they don't want to leave comments or anything. So they'll hit me directly and be like, I got this question and I need this question answered on there. Can you address that for me? But I got you. Allow folks to stay anonymous if you're not comfortable publicizing who you are and your perspective. But we're going to get to a space where you got to be more confident in what you're saying and who sees you say it. And that thought process brought me to the idea, or more so to the contemplation of who do you have around you that allows you to be the most authentic version of yourself? How many people around you where you could vocalize your intrusive thoughts, your ideas, your feelings, your normal thoughts, your observations, your goals, your intentions? Who do you have where you can communicate all these things and you feel like the other party is receiving all of this? Who do you have that fits that mold? Who do you have that inspires you, that motivates you, that teaches you, that learns from you, that grows with you? Who are the people who, just by being around them, make you better, push you toward improvement, influence you in a way that improves your life or improves the quality of your life? The answer is nobody. Then you need a new circle. Need some new friends. Need to replace them family members. Start over from scratch. Because folk that allow you to be real, to exist in your own space, to prioritize being the best version of you, do the same for themselves, and you guys collaborate to improve one another. If you ain't got no relationship like that, you don't got no relationships worth having. And when you're in different environments, whether it be professional, intimate, personal, familial, no matter what the context of the environment is, if you don't ever feel like you have the opportunity to flourish and be authentic, then what's the point? And we need all of that because, again, human interaction is like, it's what validates your existence. One, we all going through life. So we all are living out reality. We're all experiencing reality. We all come into contact with real shit. And that's something you don't get the option to choose. If you here, you're going to live that. The second part of that is, even though you're dealing with all of these things and even though you're having these experiences, learning how to go about maneuvering through it comes from personal experience, comes from learning from others, and it comes from human interaction. And the right kind of interaction can make or break your goals, can make or break your quality of life, can make or break whether your life was worth living or not. And having to come to terms with that makes it extremely crucial to figure out how to socialize and how to find the people that you want to socialize with. And it doesn't mean you have to go after transactional relationships or be one track minded in how you interact with people, but allowing yourself to be as authentic and as free as possible. And then letting life work, letting people get in where they fit in or fall by the wayside, but prioritizing being the best version of yourself and then controlling what you can control and letting the rest play out as it will. That's an important process to go through in life, more so than how much money you made, how many friends you have, how many places you've traveled. All of those things, they don't have as much reach as feeling connected and feeling grounded. Grounding, right, has two different purposes to me, where you get in contact with the earth. Earth is getting in contact with you. You're getting in sync with nature. Getting in sync with your environment. Getting in sync with people is just as important. Being grounded with your environment, treating you the way you expect it to. Got to have the right folk in the space or what you're trying to accomplish that fit the aesthetic that you're looking for or fit the goals that you're reaching for. That's another way to ground yourself, because that's your entire environment right there, where you at and who you with. You can control that and you can maximize that and make sure that that's benefiting you. Then it gets real easy to go through life. Any of the obstacles or the trials and tribulations that you go through become water off a duck's back, because your baseline is beneficial, so to speak. But you wise words, man. Again, eventually I'm going to put the board back up, but not right now. I get to it, but I want to speak some real shit first. Again, I call the podcast No Cap, right? Just because I want to be able to speak the reality and speak on truth. And be able to find that perfect balance of experience, perspective, and logic. So I use a board mostly for logic, just to boom, here's the stats, here's the facts, here's what that is. And then try to communicate with perspective and with thoughts. My own, those that I've been privileged enough to experience or to receive from others, but try to communicate the perspective nonetheless. And have a well-rounded approach to conversation, because if all you're doing is talking numbers, robots can do that. And if all you're doing is talking about opinions and perspective, that's just gossip at some point. You need both. And let me sit up, right? The topic, right? Crumbs to a brick. Anybody that listen to real rap music or listen to trap music know what that means. You trying to nickel and dime your way into something that you'll never have. And for folks who not interested in that genre of entertainment, imagine taking breadcrumb after breadcrumb, piece by piece, and trying to put together a full loaf. You can have every single piece that you need. It's still not going to work. It ain't going to stick. And the chances of you even having every piece already is unrealistic. So fighting a losing battle, trying to swim upstream. All of these are different metaphors that go along the same route of thinking. Folks is living like that. And I thought about titling the show Euphemism and Gaslighting, but nah, those are just symptoms. The whole bigger issue is people trying to piecemeal different parts of things that they're seeing and not just dealing with the loaf. It's easy to just deal with the loaf, but folk don't want to slice it. They don't want to prepare it. They don't want to gather any ingredients. The loaf just seems like so much to deal with when, end of the day, it's still just going to be a loaf. And with yesterday's conversation being about dating, it's easy to figure out how to make the idea correlate to everyday life. Because we had the conversation about white people all the time, especially in professional setting where they'll do anything to keep everything as is, status quo. I'm going to allow you to only move up so high, and I'm going to move up people that I want to move up. It's not just about making money. It's not what's in the best interest. It's how can I do things my way? And me doing it my way is more important than what the goal is supposed to be. It's improvement. We see it all over the place, and we understand it is what it is. Same process could be used for different situations where that you dating. Your expectations are some that's never existed, you've never seen, never even heard of, but you saw flashes, you saw glimpses. Going back, you seen something on social media. You don't see the day-to-day of it. You just saw that, hey, in this instant moment of life, this looked like the most pleasurable situation possible, just in this instant. How can I take that, replicate it, and then make it last for as long as possible? And the truth about it is you can't. But if you see it over and over again, it's like, man, if all I'm seeing are just constant reminders that somebody can reach this level of joy, it got to be real. Even though you figuring out the hard way, it's fabricated. You like, man, they keep telling me it's the 30th floor. But I'm learning for myself, it's only 24. So when I keep trying to go up to the 25th floor, I keep hitting my head on the ceiling. And I'm trying to figure out, how do I get to the 30th? Bet, let me try to find the stairs. Ain't no stairs. Shoot, let me try to find the elevator. Maybe there's a button. Elevator don't go that high. Where's the escalator at? Maybe if I climb out the window, you keep trying to find a way to get to that 30th floor, and there is no 30th floor. The people that you listening to, they not on the 30th floor. They on the 22nd floor, just taking a picture from an angle, just making it look taller than it is. and you still striving for something that don't exist. Apologize for the analogies and the metaphors, but again, trying to communicate as simply as possible to be able to make it make sense to as many as possible. And the unfortunate part about not want to deal with reality is when folks try to ignore it, they try to rebuild their own. The symptoms always pop up, like cartoons where somebody's boat is about to sink. You go from one hole to 50 holes, and folks just sit there and think, man, it's fine. It'll be all right. That's what it's like when folks don't want to deal with what's right in front of them. So in a situation, right, when you're dealing with, let's say, racism, because I've experienced it, prejudice, all the terms that basically say somebody don't like your black ass. I could be delusional and be like, man, that's not what it is. Maybe I'm just dressed the wrong way. Maybe they just having a bad day. Maybe I communicated wrong. Maybe I didn't get the memo and there was something I was supposed to do that I wasn't aware of. The day just wasn't a day. But let me change my voice. Let me change how I dress. Let me change my vernacular. Change what music I listen to. Let me change who I'm with when I'm at this environment. Let me change what day I go. Let me change what time I go. And no matter how you try to piecemeal it together, the brick is still the brick. Folk don't like your ass, so there's nothing you can do to make them like you. This is cold hard fact. Folk don't like you. And there's no reason to even try to persuade yourself that that's not what it is. And that's when gaslighting pops up. Like, man, why don't they like me? It's not that they don't like you. It's that you come across as intimidating. You got to meet them where they're at. I've known them forever. They not like that. And folks will gaslight you. Or you hit, hey man, I want them to be nice to me. How can I get them to meet me where I'm at? Let's bond and communicate. I want to be welcomed. Man, closed mouth don't get fed, or some other bullshit. And it doesn't matter. If they don't like you, they don't like you. To get away from racism in a conversation that's really like, it's hard to, this conversation like the Don trip of social issues. And what I mean by that is like, it's underground. It's popular. It's known, but it's not as popular as it should be, not talked about as much as it should be, and kind of important when you think about it. Is women don't really enjoy being around other women for the most part. And now they have to like go outside themselves to announce that I'm friendly towards women. I'm a girl's girl. Like that's the euphemism being used. And you like, what does that even mean? A girl's girl. What is it? When you don't want to deal with the reality, you start finding like tricks and different manipulative tools to try to maneuver around having to deal with the brick. I'm just gonna nickel and dime it until shoot. I don't know. And to get back to dating, right? Because just shit about to get real. Cause when I have a conversation with folk about, all right, what are you looking for? And friends, acquaintances, people I come across just out and about, like, what are you looking for? I'm looking for one with a fat ass, big titties, nice teeth, pretty smile, knows how to dress, smells good, is intelligent, hangs around other attractive people. Her mama look good, her family look good. She don't got no kids. She don't got no crazy exes. She's personable, mature, intelligent, communicative, polite, kind, nurturing. I'm like, all right. But you ain't got no job. You ain't got no car. You still chasing like fashion from 5 years ago. You spend what little money you do have on weed, blacks, wishers, and shoes. You got no career goals. You have multiple baby mamas. You don't have intelligent conversation. Your hygiene isn't the best because you think that weed smells good and it's appropriate in all environments. You don't get outside of your environment and you don't interact with different groups of people. So why would what you looking for be looking for you? Because I'm that nigga. Yeah. I'm a beat her back in. Like that. Why would she need you though? Yeah, I don't know. Shit, that's just what I want. And shit don't add up. The ego start to come into play. And you just like, yeah, you just saying shit. No, actuality, you need to be by yourself. You need to figure out what the fuck you plan on doing with your life. You need to focus on being a father. And if anything, you need to figure out what's going on between you and the people you keep choosing to reproduce with, because why are y'all not together? Like, that's the sign of a failed relationship. And that's just cool with you. All right. Then you go to the other side. I want a man that's over 6 foot tall, makes over $80,000 at least. Gotta have his own house, his own car, no baby mamas. Gotta have a passport. Gotta know how to dress. He has to like the things that I like. He has to listen to some of the music that I like to listen to. If I smoke, he better smoke. If I drink, he better drink. He better be able to come up with creative dates and keep me entertained. Better be funny to me. Better be willing to buy me things and give me attention the way I prefer to get attention. Has to not be interested in any other women. It has to be faithful to me. Like, then why would he want you? Yeah, because I'm a good woman. But why would he want you? Because I'm the type you can take home to your mom. Technically, you can take anybody to your mama. Should you? Nah, probably not. But can you? Yeah. So again, why would he want you? For the first situation, right? For a woman that has all of that, who's you basically describing like wife material. If you have a track record of being non-committal and being willing to reproduce, but not willing to invest in a family, why would anybody do that? Why would somebody sign up to be a part of just what is that? Just some shit. Why would a woman who's ready to be married, or is marriage appropriate, wife material, why would she sign up for your shit? What's the end goal of getting with you? What is the bigger goal? What's the end goal? What does success look like from this interaction? As a man, if you can't answer that, shit, you ain't no man. Get your shit together. If you ain't got no goals, again, setting goals and achieving goals are some of those masculine shit you can do. If you don't got that going on for yourself, you're not a man. You're a male. You have a penis, but the respect and the responsibility that comes with manhood is absent to you. And then on the other side, a man who has everything, who has built himself up with, apparently if he's by himself, with minimal outside help, just self-made individual, efficient, well-traveled, well-learned, well-connected, proper amount of resources. Why would he want you when your expectation is the immediate use of his resources for your leisure? Pretty sure a man who's accomplished enough for himself has goals in mind. And the expectation of for you to cast aside these goals for my entertainment and for my pleasure is contradictory to what you're looking for. So why would he want you? Because I am the table. That don't fucking make sense. If everything needed for his own quality of life has been attained, what are you providing that makes you even make sense in this equation? Because if he's well accomplished without a woman, then you can make an assumption that one isn't needed. And for somebody to not need you but want you, what are you doing to make them want you? And pussy's not enough. You probably need to be by yourself to figure out what a man is, how a man works, and how you can be useful to one. Honestly speaking. But when people don't do that kind of homework and don't have that level of self-awareness, they just taking bits and pieces of some shit that they seen and then trying to make it make sense. I've had an interaction, right, where dealing with a young lady, and from the immediate part of the conversation, there was an expectation for me to carry a conversation. And I'm not the type of person to carry a conversation. I'm going to communicate. If all you doing is waiting to react to something I say, we're not going to go very far, because I shouldn't have to trigger your personality. I shouldn't have to give you an excuse to be conversationalist. Why are you waiting on me to spark conversation when, as a human, you have your own independent train of thought? Again, the average human has between 6,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day. You can't communicate that without me having to prompt you. How that's a sign that shows how interested you are. How transparent are you? And then to get past that, right? Because I don't like to cast aspersions on folks. So try to communicate and see what's beyond this first little hiccup I've noticed. Past expecting to be entertained. But communicate. It's expected that I'm going to communicate to you and you're going to just reply. So you not interested in what I had going on. That's a common thing where you don't reply and I'm expected to reach back out to you, and then you communicate to you don't feel like it, then I have to reach back out to you. That shows that you're not interested. Again, with you not even willing to entertain conversation on your own or try to bring up any topics you're interested in or intrigued by, shows your level of interest, and then your willingness to extend that olive branch. Two problems. And you get past that, right? And this is a thing that is real common and irritating as fuck. Where, shoot, you want to meet with me or you want to go on a date? Tell me when and where, what time to be ready. That don't make no fucking sense. As an adult with responsibilities, you have a schedule that you stick to. I have a schedule that I'm committed to. How am I supposed to tell you when and where we're going on a date without knowing your prior schedule or prior engagements? So I'm expected to just keep throwing darts at the dartboard until I finally find a time on which you're ready and available. Why are you making this difficult? As an adult, you can communicate when you're available and you can communicate what you're interested in. But you don't. Again, showing you're not really interested. Then when I pick what I'm, all right, bet I don't have much information to go off of. Here are things that I like to do. I would like to do this. And I don't really like doing that. So I'm expected to pick a date that entertains you with little information about you. And then when you're disinterested, I have to keep throwing darts at the dartboard. And as an individual who has all of the things that you're looking for, now to have to jump through those hoops, it goes back to the question, why would anybody be interested in you? Because it's not just about who the person is. It's also about how the person goes about interacting with you, right? So a lot of people say it's in God's hands. God can sit exactly what you want right there in front of you. Set it right there on the ground. And you have people who will walk past it, step over it, run away from it. Because one, it's on the ground, so it's getting dirty. Two, there are people that are walking past and not picking it up and just handing it to them. And three, why is it out here where other people can see it and not at home where it's just me? See, all of these issues start to pop up because they're symptoms of other things. It ain't just what you want. It ain't just how you want it. It's the bigger issue of feeling entitled. And that's a big problem for a lot of folk. In the professional world, folks feel entitled that shit should go this way just because it's always gone this way. White people. Or socially, people should only hang with these kind of people just because, shoot, I don't know them over there. Dating wise, I should be able to date who I want to date simply because I exist. And they should be able to cater to my every whim simply because I exist. Again, tagline, I might need to get a t-shirt or a hoodie made or something. Your ass ain't special. You are not special. You're unique, but you're not special. None of us are special. You are unique. Nobody should have to kowtow to your request or to your every whim. Remember, like going back to the movie, analogy. You're the protagonist of your movie, not anybody else's. So the same way you feel about yourself, other people feel about themselves. So what makes you think that they should succumb to your requests? I used to have this problem, right, when growing up with my mom, where if she wanted something done, it wasn't the fact that she wanted something done, it's she wanted it done her way. And as a kid, when you're being creative, shoot, I don't. If you wanted it done that way, why didn't you just say you wanted it done that way? You asked me to just do this. And it's the same thing popping up when I'm grown. Like, dang, I'm communicating with people who don't want this. They want this and they want it done this way. I'm like, if that's the case, then you do it. Easy enough, ain't it? But then the entitlement pops up where it's like, man, I want it done, but I shouldn't have to do it. And then dating wise, from a man's perspective, there are no excuses. There are things that you were expected to do that if you do not do, you shouldn't even be anywhere in this vicinity. Because regardless of whether you're dating or not, you're expecting to have these things. And that's just in the discussion. Amongst your friends, amongst your family, amongst your potential suitors, your kids, if you have them, there's an expectation that you as a man just deal with it. And with women now being in quote unquote men's spaces and on the freedoms and the same rights as men in places that they never have them before, you deserve that. But at the same time, you don't get the reward without having to deal with the responsibility. Men have had to deal with these things for the longest. And if you want to be in the same spaces, you also have to deal with the same things. And when you want the reward of, I won't even say the reward, the freedom of being a woman, and the freedom, I won't even say of being a woman, the freedom to be in women's spaces and the freedom to be in men's spaces as they were defined before, but without having to deal with the consequences of either. Like, nah, you can't do that. Like, you got your own car. How you gonna hate pumping gas? You wanted to be able to drive and do that. You wanted your own house. Take the trash out. End the discussion. Just do it. You want to cook? Wash the damn dishes. How you gonna complain about having to pump gas and take the trash out when you wanted that? In the dating world, again, you're no longer a dependent. You're independent. You have the freedom of choice, not freedom from consequence. You make a certain amount of money, which means you only interact with a certain level of individual. That means if you are independent enough to make it in that space, you are independent enough to make your own decisions, which means to make the move towards any intimate interest you have. That's just how the world works. Sorry, sorry that it's like that, but nobody's going to change or renege because you're a woman. Because if that's not an excuse to keep you from a space, then you can't use that as an excuse to keep you from a space. I don't want to make the first move. I'm just a girl. Nah, because when it came to getting that degree, when it came to getting your job, when it comes to making adult decisions that you want to make, you're not just a girl. You're an independent, intelligent, educated woman. So You have to be that in every space. Similar to how a grown man, you're expected to be a grown man in every space. And if you're not, same thing with women now. You're expected to be that intelligent, educated, strong woman in every situation. And that's the thing about feminism, right? Because when you had white women fighting against white men just for the freedom to do these things, once they got the ability to do these things, as you can notice, a lot of white women go to college, get their husbands, and they run away from exactly what they fought for, or what their ancestors fought for. I want to be able to work. I want to be able to be educated. I want to be able to own my own businesses. I found me a husband. I got married. I'm a stay-at-home mom now. I don't want none of that shit. He got it. Because the reality is, nah, I just want to be validated and I want to feel respect. I'm respected in my household, so all the other shit that I was fighting for, I don't need it. Instead of trying to turn crumbs to a brick, they shoot, I'm just going to deal with the brick. I'm doing all of this. I'm jumping through all these hoops and I'm making all this noise simply because I want attention. I want validation. Once I get that, I might. Men are the same way. I'm gonna keep fucking all of these hoes. I'm gonna keep going to the club. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna buy this car. I'm gonna stunt. Me and my guys, we gonna be chilling, living it up. Cause I want to enjoy myself until I find that validation. You find a woman as consistent as the sun rising in the morning in the middle of the summer. You find a man who enjoys living life, just does everything for himself. I'm going to chase my pleasures. The minute he finds a woman that validates him, makes him feel seen, heard, comfortable, and loved, that nigga be in the house. I'm telling you what I know. Folks will go from I'm in the club every weekend, I go to work and I go home to play 2K. I play Call of Duty. I went from a clubber to a gamer. I went from eating out to I'm in the house. Shit, I only go on vacations if I talk to my girl about it and she want to go. Like the switch up be crazy. Folks will put themselves in different situations until they can finally get what they're actually looking for. But when you putting yourself in these different situations, different consequences come with that. If you want to be independent and you want to be strong, you're going to get to a point where you're so strong that you're fighting against exactly what you want. And once you fight it, it starts running from you. You want to make money because money bring the hoes, but you get to a point where you ain't got nothing but money. You ain't got no personality. Shit, the hoes leave. Yeah, you can pay for her. She can fuck, but she going to go for the next one too because you just paying for it. That means there's a price tag attached to it. It means somebody else can buy it. That shit on sale. Like a pair of Jordans, boy. That pussy like a pair of Jordans, I'm telling you. You thought they only made one pair and it only came in your size and they only sent it to you? Nigga, please. But you know how folk go. You know how folk are. I want to feel special. Make me feel special. If you make me feel special, I believe anything you tell me. I reconstruct my entire reality in order to make this shit right here make sense. Sad story. Because I tell you, folks will do whatever they can to turn them breadcrumbs into a loaf. I'm a world build for you right now. My main social media I use is Instagram. The second one after that, Twitter. Third one, Snapchat. Fourth one, YouTube, because YouTube is technically social media. Fifth, Facebook. I see niggas going on vacation. These niggas always around the hoes. Pretty hoes too. They dress a certain. They go to certain restaurants in certain towns. They in certain cities. They go to certain concerts. They drink. They smoke. They love hookah lounges. So guess what I'm about to go do? That should look like fun, so I'm gonna go do that. That's the crazy part, right? Because being in Atlanta, trying to describe Atlanta to people, that's the best way I can put it is a bunch of people trying to turn crumbs to a brick. Because Atlanta, from the outside looking in, looks like the most fun shit ever. Seems like the most lit city you can think of. Houston the same way. Like these cities where black people go and thrive, man. Like it's fun. That shit look cool. Then you get out there and you realize that shit ain't what it's talked up to be. Cause you find out all the men out there gay, even the ones that's married. Nigga be walking past you with his girl and his nipple piercings poking. Nigga wearing his Ethica and his ass out. He talk with his tongue always come out his mouth. Any nigga that talk tongue heavy is questionable. 2 nose piercings, not 1, 2. That one in. Yeah. Then the women are bitter because all the men gay. And these ain't like just like ugly bitter women. I mean like these bad, like coldest woman you'll ever see, but bitter. Attractive, but they'll pop off at the mouth at you. Attitude, talk crazy, paranoid, skeptical, always second guessing everything just because they in an environment where shoot, every man I talk to has either been gay or DL. So I'm expecting it to be some bullshit. Trauma response. I'm always dealing with that bullshit, so I'm expecting it to pop up again. Shoot, I'm single. I ain't got nothing else to do. My friend's single too. We gonna go out. We gonna have fun. I got a nice car. I got a nice house. I got a nice job. I got multiple degrees. I'm well traveled. My passport stamped all the way the fuck out. My outfits is crazy. I eat at all the upscale restaurants. I'm known around the city. My Instagram following is up. All of them things is just like crumbs that you trying to piecemeal into a brick because at the whole time, majority of that shit only happening or you only participate in because you ain't got a man or you ain't got a woman. So it's a bunch of people outside celebrating, partying, drinking, turned up, lit, that would rather be at home with somebody rubbing their nasty ass feet together, watching terrible Christmas movies, trying to figure out what the fuck we gonna eat in the morning. They at 5-star restaurant. Not even 5-star, man. We talking about Instagram. This for looks. Folks will be at STK. We gonna take these pictures. This shit lit. Me and my girls, we got dressed up. We all was bad bitches and we all was eating steak and we all getting money. The whole time, folks would rather be at home complaining to their man, nigga, I told you to take that pot roast out the damn freezer so I can cook it tomorrow. Would much rather prefer that life to the one that they living, but you would never know if you was outside looking in. You look at social media, if you listen to the folk tales, if you let folk tell you part of the story, you'll think, man, shit, it's the land of milk and honey. Always fun outside. Everybody's always positive. It's always gonna be a good time, no drama. Shit. Wait till you get the random doctor that just made me think about something, right? In I know this might be controversial, but shit, it is what it is. I don't support domestic violence at all from a woman or a man. I don't. Keep your hands to yourself. Again, I talked about this in the previous episode. Respect is everything. Disrespect is not to be tolerated. Respect me, I respect you. We can disagree, but we can disagree respectfully. We can communicate respectfully. We can argue respectfully. Don't disrespect me. I won't disrespect you. Both sides. And that being the case, right? You learn quick, boy. I see why niggas used to slap hoes in the mouth. I don't support it. I will never be like, man, that was some cool shit to do. I do not support it, but I understand it. Because, again, you got the situations where you just like, if I remember correctly, you just a girl. But if I say something that you misunderstand or that you don't appreciate, the first thing you do is talk crazy to me. Or if we have a disagreement, you feel like you should be able to call me out my name or try to put your hands on me, but you just a girl. I see why niggas used to slap the shit out of you. Because there are no other consequences to your disrespect. You've been gaslit to believe that anything you do is cool because it's you, until you find the one that ain't going for that. And they drag your ass. Again, I do not support domestic abuse, domestic assault, domestic violence, none of that shit. But I understand it. Because if it's two men arguing, I'm telling you, the first reaction is, I'm about to slap this nigga. I'm about to punch him in his mouth. I'm going to kill this nigga. Instant, just, that's the response. But I have to respect you as a woman in all other capacities until we get here. And now I have to make sure that I abide by specific rules simply because you're a woman. Like, your sex doesn't hold you back in any other situation. It doesn't. You don't need preferential treatment in any other space except for when we disagree and you get disrespectful. And now I need to play by different rules and allow you to get off. Just one more time for the road. I do not support domestic violence. It's some bullshit. Keep your hands to yourself. But with a lot of these folk and their entitlement, I understand why. I understand the logic behind it, regardless of whether I agree with the actions or not. I understand what got you there. You got to know your role and play it, man. Instead, you out here doing little sneaky shit, passive aggressive behaviors. Your conversation changing, your behaviors changing, your expectations are changing. Your brain is adjusting and adopting this thought process that you have, of which it's you-centric, it's egocentric, ego-driven. Everything got to go your way, regardless of whether it aligns with the reality or not. Because what's real and what you want, not aligning. So when reality doesn't meet fantasy, instead of embracing reality, you over here chasing the fantasy and you trying to piece it together, trying to turn crumbs to a brick. Damn shame.
J-Lo did it.